I'm pretty sure they held the ball pretty. I mean, I don't know how many possessions did we have in the second half. 4. I think we had maybe 3 or 4 possessions in the second half for our offense, which is not good. So we need to find ways to get off the field. And I do a better job of getting our guys ready. So, felt the offense came to play, and defense for the first half looked pretty good, and just had to find ways to make plays in the second half. And I give a lot of credit to South Florida. I thought they did some really good things. Like the quarterback, I can't believe he's a young freshman, but man, he can escape, he can run. Felt like we couldn't keep him contained, and he was really athletic. He escaped a bunch of possible sacks, and so we have to give them a lot of credit. They made some plays, and we didn't make enough on defense in the second half, especially. That would make me really happy. So offensively, I thought we were good. Special teams obviously had a field goal blocked. I don't know if it was a low kick, seemed like that to me, but got to find a way to make those more automatic and get points on the board. So disappointed, but thankful we got the win. Told our guys that no long faces in the locker room. We want to play our best. I don't think we played our best as a complete team, but I think there's some really promising things considering, with our backup quarterback, some really good things that we saw on the field. So I think it's kind of tale of two sides, and then special teams-wise we have to see more on film, but didn't really have much opportunity for more punt returns or anything with kick returns because the ball is kicked in the end zone pretty much every time.
I also wanted to ask about that injury status. It seemed like there were a lot of guys dinged up both coming into the game and then also a lot of guys going out during the game. How did you see that? What's the status there as far as health goes?
Yeah, there's a bunch of guys that are banged up, so I don't nobody gone for the year, so that we know of right now. We'll still the guys are hurt and banged up and not 100%, but I think they'll be okay. And so there may be some questionable guys come for this next game next Friday. We'll have to wait and see. We'll probably give you more information on Monday. The guys that did not play tonight, I believe there's a Tyler Batty and Nisa Mahe didn't play. They felt like they could have gone, but we're not going to play guys if they can't practice. We didn't feel like they had enough practice time, and so that would have been helpful to have those two guys in a D-line, but it was good for opportunity for those other guys to learn and some younger guys to get more reps, but almost gave it away, so I'm trying to think. Jaron obviously is we thought he would be ready to go, and from the advice of our medical staff, they decided that it was probably best for him to hold him out, and I think if you asked him, he was ready. He wanted to go, but we have to be smart. We have to save our guys from themselves even and make the right move. And we felt good about Baylor entering this game. I think some other guys got banged up and went out and never came back. I'm trying to think of who. Harris LaChance got banged up, but we feel like we'll see what happens. We think he can come back for next week. Who else? Mason Wake went out. I think it's the same thing. We think he can come. We can get him back. Anybody? Caleb Christensen. We'll see how that looks tomorrow, but we're hopeful. And but nobody's counted out yet for next week of the guys that they went out. And then we're pretty sure we can get Batty and Nisa back, and then we have to wait and see what happens with Jaron. But we're feeling pretty good about him being back as well.
Mitch and then Dick.
Kalani, you mentioned that Batty and Nisa didn't practice much this week. Was Jaron able to practice at all leading up to tonight?
Not effectively, not enough for us to feel good about it. I mean, every day it seemed like he was getting better and better, but just wasn't enough. And then at the same time, Baylor was practicing really well. And so we felt like going into this game, maybe Baylor would be the starter, would be the right move, and then have Jaron as a backup. But I think having Jaron as a backup was probably a little too tempting to use him a little bit. And so I think we did the right thing by being safe and and cautious, just watching out for him. And so I think that's what we end up doing. We ended up shifting it out and just not even dressing him, just to stay away from the temptation of putting him on the field before he's ready.
Before you get into the film study this weekend, what are your initial reaction as far as a positive that came out of this game, in your opinion?
Yeah, we found a way to grind it out and win the game. I mean, I thought wins are really hard in college football. And so although we're disappointed, I'm disappointed in some of the things that happened tonight, I think we have to be thankful that we were able to get the win. And you have to give credit to South Florida for some of the things that they did. They saw an opportunity to play here, and they showed up. And I thought Jeff Scott did a great job getting his team ready. They were excited to play in front of our crowd. And, they made a game of it. And so I have to give them a lot of credit. But I know we can play better. I know we can do a lot better, especially on defense. Offensively, I was really pleased with a lot of things that we saw. We just got to find ways to score points and get in the end zone, not have to always rely on going for it on fourth down. So, I mean, things are fixed, but I'm a little bit impatient because I want to be better right now.
Coach, this is the first game you've missed Keenan Peely, a big emotional leader for you. How do you think that the changes that you made in his absence worked? What kind of things did you look like? What kind of things did you not like?
Well, we decided to put Chaz a little bit more up in the box and play him at linebacker. We had Ben Bywater and Chaz and Max and Peyton kind of rotate a little bit up there, trying to keep them all fresh. But hard to replace Keenan and all the experience that he has there. But I thought our guys did pretty good. I really feel like some of the issues that we had were just not getting out of drives and allowing McLean to just extend plays, where we felt like we were close to, we couldn't contain him. And so we have to do a better job than that. But because we're going against two really athletic quarterbacks this next week, so that can't be an excuse that it's an athletic guy, because there's athletic quarterbacks all over the place, and Utah State has a couple of them. So we just have to do a better job, and I have to do a better job of coaching, getting them in a better position to make tackles and trust their assignments and their technique.
Just a follow-up, Coach, you said there were some long faces in the locker room. What was your point of interest when we talked to them? What did you want to get across right after the game?
Well, I wanted to remind them that winning's hard, and appreciate the game and respect the game by celebrating. I also remind them that the celebration has to be a little quicker because the game's coming up quick. We lose a day, and so ask them to be smart and get their rest tonight, go to church tomorrow, and be ready to go to Logan next week, So the guys really expect a lot from themselves, and they can be hard on themselves. And so sometimes it's okay that they're really hard on themselves. They have this standard of expectation and to perform, but I need to also let them know it's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to be thankful that you were able to grind out a win. And so hopefully, the long faces will turn into something more positive, and will get us to so we can focus on getting better and making sure that we play a complete game next week.
Thank you, Coach.
Sam and then Jared.
Coach, you talked about having one fewer day this week to prepare, obviously, with the game on Friday. How does that change your regular routine for this update?
We don't do anything on Sunday, so we'll do some treatment and stuff like that. But other than that, we'll have to just lose a day of prep. I mean, we feel good about our things that we can do as a team. We feel good about our foundation on what we've done with install. Obviously, we have to look at the film of Utah State, because we haven't seen a lot of it other than some of the things that we've seen them when they play games and stuff. They played early this morning, so a lot of our guys watched that game. But other than that, there's not a lot that we know other than the stuff that we've seen on games. And highlights and stuff like that. And they have a really good team. I think Blake's doing a good job getting those guys ready. They seem to have a lot of guys that new players that came in and fit right into what they want to get accomplished on the field. And so a lot of respect to them and their fans. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a rivalry game for us. It's one that we've been very, we've been familiar with seeing them year to year. So I'm looking forward to going up there and playing that game and hoping that we can show better than what we did tonight.
Kalani, we've talked a lot about the second half, but we got to talk about the first half because you built a 28-6 lead. The offense scored on 4 of 5 possessions. You know, the defense bent a couple of times, but only surrendered a couple of field goals. That was a pretty good start to the game. What'd you see there?
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I think if you can score that many points that early, then you're going to be in a good spot. And so, just really happy with what we saw from all 3 phases. I thought they did a really good job. We were able to get force them into field goals, and we felt really good about where we were at. The second half was just a kind of a dark cloud over the game because the second half just isn't our style of football that we're used to seeing from our defense. And then we'd like to get the ball more to our offense, and so it's hard to score points when you don't have a lot of possessions. But I was thankful that we got the win. I was thankful that our guys were able to get out there and grind it out and figure out a way to get the win for us.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.